Hey, I'm Jeff,
And I'm Jeremy.
and this is the Deathscography podcast,
The
episode
Deathscography
2.
podcast. Oh shit, it is episode 2. I was about to say episode 3.
No,
No, because we had an episode 0.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
you are coming in hot, episode 2.
Yes.
So Deathscography podcast, in case you skipped episode 1 or episode 0, we're going in sequential order from the very beginning of Deathwish Records, and we're going through their releases one per episode. So
yeah, chronological order.
yes.
Every episode we'll discuss it in relative detail.
And we're talking about all the releases.
Yeah, every single release, ranging from splits to compilations,
Singles.
to LPs, EPs, singles.
Yep.
And actually, speaking of that, sometimes the episode will be maybe a little longer because it's a lot of songs on the record, or
Right.
very short. I figure this one might be a little shorter.
Don't count your chickens.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know what that means. Don't count your chickens.
I don't have any chickens, so
Yeah.
I can't count them.
Oh,
But this episode, we are discussing the single Suckerpunch Training by Boysetsfire.
Yep.
And it's on the Wikipedia page, it is listed as a single, but it is technically 3 songs.
Right. Yeah. I think it's single in the sense of when people were putting out CDs, they had like length specifications for single or EP or LP. And
Yeah, when I was actually looking up some stuff about this, there was a review that said, now, I don't normally like EPs, and I was calling it an EP.
Right.
And they're like, I don't normally like EPs because they're normally not that long. This one is 11 minutes, and most EPs are 15 minutes. I was like, what EP is 15?
2000,
Yeah, it's just like,
early 2000s.
I was just like, Coke Bus put out an LP that was 9 minutes long. So I don't know, like,
Yeah.
what do terms mean anymore?
Yeah. It was a different time.
Yeah, but this is a single. It has 3 songs, Sucker Punch Training, Rocket Man, and Spoken Word. And yes, you heard me right, Rocket Man. It is an Elton John cover.
Yep. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. But before we get into that, Jeff, you been listening to anything really cool this week?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do this thing where we talk about what we've been jamming, what we've been listening to. I will say that I did listen to some of the new Childish Gambino record, and
Same here.
and I stopped listening to it because it was increasing my anxiety.
It's a lot. That record is a lot. That's what I will say that.
It's not bad. It's just not for me right now at this time in my life.
I think for me, a lot of Childish Gambino records, actually, except for that first LP, the actual LP he put out, Camp, it takes me a listen or two to enjoy the record. Like that first listen, I almost never like it, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because each record since then has been a pretty dramatic stylistic change.
Right.
With Camp, it sounded a lot like his old stuff, and then because of the internet, he started increasing his production value, and it got a little weirder. And then with Awaken My Love, it went to just a funk record.
Yeah.
And this is like not any of that. It's not a rap record. It's not a funk record. It's more like I don't even know how to describe it.
For me, it's like an art project. Like it's weird.
Yeah,
but I haven't listened to all of it because, like I said, I was like, this is making me feel weird.
Yeah, I definitely listened to it all the way through once, and I did enjoy it, but it's gonna hopefully it'll grow on me more. Right now, I'm just like, it's okay.
But I have been listening to this band called Corrupt Vision, which we're friends with the singer for Corrupt Vision, Tommy. He's the guy that runs No Time Records that put out one of our tapes.
Yeah, based out of California. Us being Machinists, the band that me and you are in.
Yeah, the band that Jeremy and I are in. But I've been listening to that record. They put out this split with a band called Sibinac, which is cannabis backwards. But I haven't listened to their side. I've just been listening to Corrupt Vision side, and it's cool. It's like gross, power violence-y, grindy kind of stuff, but also some tasteful ska riffs.
Well, ska is officially back.
Yeah.
2019 was the year ska came back in a super hard way.
Look where it got us.
Here we are. I've been God, I cannot stop listening to this new split that our friends in Las Nubes and Palomino Blonde put out.
Yep.
It is probably my favorite record of the year right now. It's fucking incredible. Both bands just knock it out of the park in terms of songwriting, production. They're catchy and heavy at the same time. Las Nubes is super. I don't know. There's just something about them that I can't get enough of it. And besides listening to this stuff that we're listening to for the podcast, that Childish Gambino record, it's mostly been the Palomino Blonde split with Las Nubes. It's amazing. Please listen to it if you get a chance. It's on Spotify and all that stuff.
Yeah, I will. All right. So Boysetsfire.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I will be honest out of the gate. I have never listened to anything from this band ever.
Have you heard of them at least?
Well, all those band names kind of melt together for me. Like we said when we were introing what we were going to do on this episode, on the last episode, like Boysetsfire, Alexa's on fire.
Yeah, right.
I set my friends on fire. Smoking fire. Fire.
Fire.
Firefest. Boysets Firefest.
The Boyset Fire caused Firefest. Okay.
Yeah. The boy is Ja Rule.
Sorry. Well, I have at least heard the band before. They actually broke up in like 2007 after being a band for, I don't know, a decade or so. And they reunited in 2010 and that's when I heard of them.
Right.
I didn't hear them before but like people were making such a big deal of them reuniting that I decided to check them out. And they put out a couple of records on Bridge 9 Records, which is a great hardcore label. I'm sure if you know Deathwish, you know Bridge 9.
I think they're still technically on Bridge 9 currently.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, actually, when I was doing my research, I think they are still on Bridge 9, but they're kind of putting the project back on hold while pursuing other things. They're not broken up again. They're just a sort of self-imposed hiatus.
Gotcha.
But let's go back in time. This is the second Deathwish release, which was released on November 20th in 2001. So I've officially become 11 years old
at this point. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, at this point you have entered your tween years.
Here I am. But I will say this first song, well, this EP, or this single, I should say, is a very interesting one in the fact that, like, it's got one song that I would classify as a fairly traditional Boysetsfire song, and that's going to be Suckerpunch Training. It's melodic, but it's also heavy, and, you know, it's upbeat. I don't know.
Right.
Like,
for me,
post-hardcore sound.
I don't know if this is a hot take. Those, I don't know if it's the chorus or verse, whichever. The melodic part,
yeah,
that shit sounds like Tool.
I haven't listened to enough Tool to really make that comparison, but
it sounds like a band that listened to a lot of Tool.
Well, shit. I
like
mean,
his vocals sound like the guy from Tool.
I mean, I know Tool's been around forever, but like, were they like super popular at this point in 2001?
Oh yeah.
I'm not a huge Tool fan, so.
But yeah, like this song when it started playing, I was like, okay, half this song goes back and forth between like a rock band that likes Tool and like pretty much straight up like kind of like hardcore riffs.
Yeah, like post-hardcore, like heaviness. Yeah.
Right.
And it's, now that you say that, I kind of go listen to some Tool just because like I couldn't quite place what the singing reminded me of. And it is definitely different. And I mean, I think it sounds cool.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's definitely different. And I think we had discussed, I think it was either in episode 0 or, I mean, it had to be in one of the last 2 episodes, but we had discussed how Deathwish releases stuff that's kind of all over the place. They don't really stick. I mean, they do a lot of heavy releases, but it's heavy stuff that's interesting.
This is super far from their first release also.
Absolutely.
Which
this is like,
you know, Converge and Hellchild split, like, which is like Converge and a Japanese metal band.
Yeah, this is post-hardcore 2000, you know what I mean? But like I was saying before, this song is the only one that sounds like it on this record. So
I didn't know that that Rocket Man was a cover when I went into the listening of it. I just thought it was a song called Rocket Man.
Honestly, same. I didn't look up anything about the record before listening to it.
Yeah, same. So like, I got like 15 seconds into the song and I was like, God damn it.
It's a fucking Elton John cover.
No one needed this.
To be honest, I don't know which would have made. Basically, as soon as I realized it was an Elton John cover, I was wondering which direction it was going to go into, whether it was going to stay a fairly straightforward cover, or like they were going to just throw some breakdowns in, like that a late 2010 or whatever, like pop goes punk, punk goes pop, whatever crap. Yeah. But no, it's just kind of a straight cover. I mean, there's no piano or anything, but
it's upbeat too. Like I think it's a little faster. Like it's like like a punk rock version kind of.
It doesn't sound like them, really. It's very distinct in its own way. And my roommate was listening in on me, and they go, "Is this a Elton John cover?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is what we're talking about this week." It was just making us both laugh, but not necessarily. It's not a bad cover. It's just so strange.
Yeah, like like it's fine, but why? Like why? I want to know like the story behind that, which I don't have that information. Like I want to know like what, like where did they decide to cover Rocket Man by Elton John?
Exactly. Like were they all just super big fans, and they
also,
were just like,
do they play that live? Probably not.
I don't know. Like at least at the time they were probably playing it live. Maybe not anymore. I don't know if they're like. Again, I don't know a ton about this band, but are they known for the Rocket Man cover? And
that was their thing? Like
we're just like, oh, I've never heard this before. It's crazy.
Yeah, like
I don't know,
rubes.
But like I said, I did enjoy it. I probably will never listen to it again.
Actually, you will.
Well, you're right. I totally will. A little sneak preview. I mean, if you know the format of the show, next episode we're talking about the next release in Deathwish, and this song is on that release. So I will listen to it.
Don't you worry.
I don't want to go into that too much just because I don't want to take stuff from there. But besides for that next episode, I don't think I'll be listening to it again. I'm not a big covers person in general.
But didn't you used to be? Didn't you?
Yes.
Didn't you used to be like you wanted to hear every cover of every song, like every band's cover of everything ever?
Well, I don't know about that much.
I feel like you had like a collection on your computer of covers.
Okay, maybe I did, but
not to like put you on blast.
I think that's probably why I'm so burnt out on them. It's like in the same way that it takes something special to perk me up as far as a live performance. It's like the cover's got to really be something for me to enjoy it nowadays.
Right.
And this is, I mean, like I said, it's not bad. It's just not, I'll never listen to it again on my own accord.
It's no Clean.
Yeah. Honestly,
by Depeche Mode.
I have
covered by Converge.
I have gone back and listened to that cover because I find it so interesting, even though we've moved past it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on. We have only one more song on this single, and that's, Spotify.
It's not really a song.
Yeah, on Spotify, it's called Untitled. On the Wikipedia page, it's called Spoken Word. I feel like it was like a hidden song because on another release, on another page, it's not even mentioned. So I feel like maybe it was a hidden song.
I feel like where I listened to it, it was called Hidden.
See, that's what I mean. Like it's like different names in a bunch of different places, but it's essentially a spoken word track. It's got some sort of
So like here on this Spotify that I listen to it on.
Oh yeah,
it's called Hidden. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so again,
this was a CD release, so like it was probably like way at the end of another.
Yeah, like that whole thing where it's like 6 minutes of silence to actually hear it.
Right.
I really wish there was a way to do that nowadays, but no one's going to listen to a 12-minute long song because you can see the length. You know what I mean?
Just, like slide through it, yeah.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, this is just a spoken word thing. This band, as I did some research, I realized they're a fairly political like band. A lot of their lyrics deal with political stuff, and in fact, I think Suckerpunch Training deals with police brutality in a way. I don't know. I can't really go into detail on that, but it's just like a lot of their stuff is political.
Oh, for
and
sure,
so,
it's a political band.
So this is hyper political spoken word and talks, and
it's almost just like a rant, if I'm honest. Like,
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I read that it was like a spoken word piece, but it kind of just sounded like the singer is named Nathan Gray, I think.
Yeah, Nathan. Yeah.
Like, I feel like it was just like him talking and it was being recorded.
Well, I mean,
that's which is fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say what defines spoken word. I don't know.
I'm saying I don't think it was a prepared piece.
Oh, true. Yeah,
I think he was just talking. That's what it felt like.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
But it's honestly a little. It feels a little surreal because this is a 20-year-old record, and
he's literally talking about today.
It could be out right now, like what he discusses about democracy and about healthcare and about like all this stuff. It just.
Yeah, I read an interview with him where he talked about the interview is from. Hold on, let me see what the interview's from December of 2019. Yeah, and he was like talking about those early records that they put out, and he was like, "It sucks that people today are still connecting with these songs because
right
all the stuff that I wanted to change in the world is kind of still the same."
Yeah, it's still there. I mean, like I said, right now, we're recording this. We're still in the quarantine of COVID-19. So it's just like universal healthcare is a subject that is highly up in the debated right now.
Absolutely.
And it's insane. But yeah, it definitely hit me in a way that I did not expect because I read spoken word thing, or I heard, started hearing the spoken word stuff, and I was like, okay, but then it just hit with the same sort of punch it probably was supposed to hit back then.
Because back then, I mean, this was November 20 of 2001.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like 3 months after September 11th.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So there's a lot of hyper political shit happening at this time.
Yeah, we were just getting started in the war on terror at that point, and it.
Yep. Which, it was the most important thing in the world. So all this other stuff was just being pushed by the wayside,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't dislike this record. I definitely think that the first song, the title track, Suckerpunch Training, is it's kind of dated when you listen to it. Like it sounds on par with that time for me.
No, it's an early 2000s post-hardcore song. I mean, it's just, I mean, and that's not I don't think that's a detriment. It's just a very much a time and place song.
Right. Whereas on the last record where Thaw, if somebody put out a song like Thaw today, I'd be like, oh yeah.
On the Converge split.
Yeah. On that Converge split. I'd be like, oh yeah, that could be from today.
It could absolutely still yeah.
But if I heard this song, I'd be like, fuck, this is a throwback.
Yeah, you're trying to sound like 2000s post-hardcore.
Right.
Which, I mean, I guess everything comes in circles, so
it's
maybe
true.
this will come back around.
Oh, it will. Yep.
Yeah, Thrice is going to be seen as the best band in the world. I mean, they're an amazing band, but you know what I'm saying, they're going to just be held up.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, honestly, with this band, they broke up in 2007 and reunited in 2010. It's the same deal. They're hitting that nostalgic wave too. They're celebrating 20 years as a band, 25 years as a band, or whatever.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, this band, at least back in the day, and even now, they released records on Victory and Wind Up, Equal Vision, Hydra Head, Bridge 9, all that stuff.
Wasn't Wind Up? Isn't it the record label that isn't it the record label Nickelback started out on? I feel like Wind Up. I feel like Wind Up is I feel like it's like a sub label. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass. I thought I felt like it was like a sub label of Roadrunner or something.
They were definitely distributed by major labels because it was a big deal when this band signed to them.
Gotcha.
I don't know if they were owned by anybody, but
Gotcha.
they could have possibly been.
I could just be making that up. Don't yell at me. I'm not going to fucking read anything you guys send us. I will never read it. So fuck me up. Fuck Jeremy up for me. I'm never going to read it.
I did realize the reason I had listened to this band recently, before we even talked about this podcast last year sometime, I picked up they put out a couple splits with a couple high profile bands like Shy Halud and Snapcase, but I own their 7-inch split with Coalesce.
Yeah, Coalesce, that's right.
I think it's super good, but like
maybe Most Precious Blood. I think they might have done that too. I don't know. I was reading.
I'm not sure, but I did put a little thing out on my Twitter before we started recording this, just because I was interested in if anybody was like, obviously this band has fans, but it's like, I don't really hear them talked about in our circles. So like, but like all those other bands I just listed, Shy Halud, Snapcase, Coalesce, I do hear talked about. Right. And this band was putting out splits with them, so it's weird to me that no one I know really listens to them.
Yeah, they did a lot of touring with Snapcase too. I think that might be how the split came about, or vice versa. They might have put the split out and then wanted to tour together, but I don't know. But yeah, have you looked at the art for this record? The album
I did.
Art?
Well,
right,
so
what? Go ahead.
Hold on. I was gonna say I need to pull it up because there was alternative album art for the 7-inch. So I want to make sure that we're looking at the same art. Let me pull it up real quick. So that is the art that is the official single release art, but the 7-inch that got pressed later has different artwork completely that I can't seem to find right now. But yeah, I'm looking at it, and it is definitely a political leaning piece.
Yeah, so here's my take. It looks like a Modern Warfare game cover.
I mean, yeah, honestly,
like an early Modern Warfare game, like a Xbox era.
It's got the orange and blue, like it's got the guy in the mask. It's just a random city.
Like replace Boysetsfire with Modern Warfare. Same font.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I was actually looking up some stuff, and the people who did the artwork design is this. I guess it's a company called Atomic ID, and they actually did some stuff for like the Hope Conspiracy and Ramallah as well.
That's cool.
I looked up their stuff. It all and not all looks like this, but it's definitely in the same. This definitely is the same style.
Gotcha.
It's pretty cool. But I guess speaking of kind of production credits, I did look up who recorded this album because now I'm just interested to know a bunch about the stuff that we're looking up. And it was recorded by Nick Rotundo, and I never had heard that name, but honestly, he kind of just recorded a bunch of Boysetsfire stuff.
Is he in the band?
I don't know. Oh, I guess I could have looked that up, but I did not think to see if he was in the band or not, but he definitely recorded a bunch of Boysetsfire stuff and some other smaller bands, but no other bands that I had ever really heard of. But I like the idea that they got a producer that they liked
and they just stuck with him.
And they just stuck with them. Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of like, our band, for example, we recorded with Lee Dice in Valdosta, Georgia at Earth Sound. And it's like, you had that connection and you like the way you sound with his production style and you don't really want to go anywhere else.
Nick Rotundo is not in the band and was not in the band.
Well, then my point stands stronger. Is just like they found someone they like to work with and they worked with them for at least a couple releases, which I think is a really cool thing.
Yep. So, that pretty much wraps up this record. I mean, it's 3 songs. Yeah. There's not a lot that you can say past what we've already said. But we are talking about Deathwish Records releases. And so I feel like we would be amiss to not mention Deathwish news as it comes out. When you guys hear this will already be news that's out there and you'll have already heard this. But it came out today, the day that we're recording.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about it. Jacob Bannon, the singer for Converge, has launched a new band with members of the Red Chord and ex-members of Job for a Cowboy.
Yeah, that's the one that got me. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. And the band is called Umbra Vitae, I believe I'm saying it correctly.
That's how I said it, yeah.
Umbra Vitae.
Umbra Vitae.
And the track is called Return to Zero, and it is a banger.
It's real good.
Yeah.
I was super into it. I was not expecting death, like it's just hyper aggressive.
It has like a Full of Hell feel, like
it's
full of hail. It has a
full of hail.
It has a Full of Hell, like just not like the sound, but like the just nonstop aggression.
Yeah, the oppressiveness of the heaviness.
It just starts.
The vocals are so just wild sounding. The drums are just constant and pounding.
It is metal.
I really enjoyed it.
There is 100% a Job for a Cowboy era guitar lead in it though, where like everything drops out and it's just like okay, back to fast aggressive.
I was really bummed out because I wonder if this has to do with the state of the planet that we're in right now. Basically it's only coming out digitally for now.
Yeah.
They're not putting it on CD, because this was like a single for a upcoming full record that is coming out later, but they're like, yeah, digitally out on April, whatever, but vinyl, CD, and tapes later. And it's like Deathwish never does that. Yeah, they always have that right to go.
Yeah, the record's coming out May 1st. But I mean, from my understanding, like a lot of pressing plants are backed up. Because of what's happening with COVID-19, like people they aren't able to work. So, and
that's what I mean. Is like not that you could read it as it's like, oh, he's not confident in the band, and I don't think that's it at all.
I don't think so either.
I don't think like he does not sign bands, even if it's his own band. He does not work with bands that he does not want to push 100%. I meant to say this in the last episode. Deathwish is not just Jacob Bannon. It is also Trey McCarthy. Those are the two people who founded the label and still run the label. So it's definitely not just Jacob leading the train. He's just he's the one who's out there.
Right.
He's the one who's in the high profile band. He's very high profile artist.
Point of contact.
Exactly. And so like
with the general public,
I realize that we often say he when it should be they. Right. But so like they don't work with bands that they don't
believe
support
in.
100%. Exactly. So I was like, it has to be this quarantine stuff.
It could be that, but it could also be, I mean, these cats are mostly, I mean, I don't think the Red Chord is like super busy, but like, I mean, they could all just be super busy, and like, they're like, we don't really want to push it right now. We're just doing the other stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because like last year, Deathwish put out one of another of Jacob Bannon's side projects called "Wear Your Wounds," and that band plays like one show a year. They don't really do much, but they still put out this super intense vinyl package. So I just feel like it's got to be the virus that's affecting everything, and so that's why it's like we're gonna put out the pre-orders when we get a better idea of when the records will show up.
Which is amazing on their end because a lot of bastards would just be like, "Hey, pre-order it now, get it 3 years from now,
get it at some point, who knows when."
Duke Nukem.
I was definitely looking forward to because I collect vinyl records and I was. Looking forward to placing my order because I really enjoyed the song, but I'll get it when it comes out.
Yeah, but it's a banger. You guys should listen to it. It's everywhere. You could get Metal Injection, Lamb Goat.
Yeah, it's on Spotify is where I actually found it. Is it there? Yeah, so it's everywhere.
It's killer.
Well, I guess that about wraps up this episode.
Yeah.
So you can find us on Twitter at Deathscography. By the way, I found that because Twitter limits your username. It's not Deathscography Pod. It's just at Deathscography.
Sick.
You cannot I could not add the POD like I did everywhere else.
Oh man, youth of the nation.
I know. Poor POD. Anyways, you can find us on Facebook at Deathscography Pod. You can email us at deathscographypod@gmail.com. And you can find us on Instagram at Deathscographypod. As soon as these episodes start rolling out, we will be able to reply to anything you send us. We're probably going to bank at least another episode here. So the next one you hear, we also will say the same stuff. We're not responding to anything yet because we don't have it really up yet. But you can find us on all that stuff. So please check it out and let us know what you think.
Yeah. And what are we looking at for next episode 3?
So next episode, like we kind of subtly hinted at in earlier in the episode, is going to be Fight Music 1,
which is the best name ever.
Name. Oh, it's so good. I didn't even know it existed. I mean, the internet barely knows it exists, but it is the third Deathwish release, and it is a compilation CD. I actually had to I put together a Spotify playlist of all the songs because that's how hard it was to find.
You guys can follow and listen to.
Absolutely can. We will be posting a link to it when the episode comes out. But anyways, that is what the next episode will be about. We'll be recording that sometime here soon.
Yep. As always, you can find me on Instagram at Despite Jeff. You can find Jeremy everywhere as
Iron Ray Gun. That's on Instagram, Twitter, all that crap.
Yep.
I don't know how to sign off.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.